all those cats old enough to catch their own prey join here beneath the high rock for a clan meeting.
That's my girl! Hey everyone, and welcome to Validate Me, a podcast where I show my dad thing, and my dad thing, only one. I show my dad things, and my dad shows me things, and we hope that the other one will validate us.
Yeah, we make each other watch, like, horrible media from our...
Horrible media? Excuse me!
From our fandoms.
Warrior Cats Into the Wild is iconic.
And then we share, and then we get together, and we realize that they're not actually horrible. Like we thought they might be, and we talk about how cool they were, or not, depending on which episode you're listening to.
I don't think we've had one where we're like, this sucks.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I've liked some things more than other things. But
right, but there hasn't been anything that was like, this sucks.
Nothing
this
terrible.
Bad thing.
So we were in the car listening to Into the Wild.
Which is what we're doing the episode on, by the way.
I do a lot of audiobooks, right? So yeah, this is Into the Wild. So Presley assigned me to do the first official book of the Warrior Cats saga. I'm going to call it a saga.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of them.
The first one that was published, not the first one chronologically in the timeline, but the first one. And then, so I do a lot of audiobooks. We were stuck in traffic here a lot in LA. So we were listening to it, and Presley was with me while we were listening to it. And when I heard...
Let all those cats old enough to
Presley
catch their own
starts
prey
just like that
join here
triggered
beneath
something
the high rock
in
for a
Presley's
clan
brain,
meeting.
and she started talking, and then that triggered something in my brain, remembering Presley when she was tiny, like remembering saying those things when she was playing with her friends and stuff. So there was a lot of like imaginary warrior cats going on.
Warrior cats were LARPing.
And there was a lot of LARPing in Presley's life about warrior cats.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we even have...
can we jump right into that story?
We'll put a link in the description.
Oh, that video.
To a YouTube video that we did a long time ago. And by when I say in the description, I mean if you're watching this on our YouTube channel and not listening to this on the podcast. But if you go to actoutgames on YouTube, and you can find the link if you're listening to the podcast. But so we went to a park where Presley and her friends used to do the Warrior Cats LARP. And Presley gave us like a little tour of what all the places were. And I should go watch that again now because I'll understand what she was talking about. Some of it. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on when the first time we were walking through. I kind of got it. But she certainly said that. Well, I know where whatever the rock was or whatever she was supposed to get together if you could catch her own food.
The
High Rock. So I know where the High Rock was. I know where Four Trees was kind of in that universe.
Yeah, there was literally like a tree that had 4 different things.
Yeah. So that all of that stuff existed and Presley like played and it was a whole to do.
I'm gonna jump. Do you have more things to say?
Well, just do before you do all of that. Let's do like a real high level. What is Warriors?
It's a book series.
And what's the difference between Warriors and Warrior Cats?
Warriors are people that do war.
I hear a lot of people call it war, but the name of the series is actually Warriors.
The name of
but
the
everybody
series
calls them Warrior Cats.
Well, the cats are the cats that are in Warriors, right. So they're Warrior Cats.
They're not the cats that are in the musical.
No.
Okay.
Not the cats.
Right.
The genital cats.
Right.
Not genital cats. Warrior Cats.
Genitals can and genitals do.
Okay, that's a whole Steve Saragos bit.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right, so Warrior Cats is a saga created by Aaron Hunter, and it's...
You know there is no Aaron Hunter, right?
I do. I was going to reveal that to you on the podcast.
Oh no, I looked it up. I did some research. Yeah, okay.
I was like, okay, so that was the biggest betrayal of my entire childhood, was that there's more than one Aaron Hunter.
Yeah. Do you know why they picked the name Aaron Hunter?
Nope.
Because I guess the guy that wrote the Redwall series.
Oh, I love Redwall, yeah.
Like, I think his name is similar, and so they would be next to each other in the library.
Oh, wow.
So, like, when kids went to go get the Redwall books,
they would see these.
They would see the warrior. It was very strategic that they picked that name.
Aaron Hunter.
I thought that was really interesting. The other thing I thought was kind of fascinating was that the idea for the Warriors saga came like from HarperCollins.
Really?
Yeah, so the publisher reached out to the primary editor author.
Yes.
I can't remember her name now, and I don't feel like looking it up on the fly. But they reached out to her and said, "Hey, we want you to write this series about like feral cats." And she's like, "No, that doesn't sound interesting at all. I like dogs." She's a dog. She's a dog person. I don't know, like how much of this is lore and how much of it's true. I don't know. But so she was like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound all that interesting." And then she started thinking more about it and thinking about like, oh, well, what if I put in these like human traits and love and jealousy and territory and religion and like all of these things, and just told it through the eyes of these cats. And then she got kind of into it, but then it got really busy because there's a whole bunch of cats to keep track of. Apparently,
there's so many. There are so many cats.
And there's a bunch of clans, and there's a bunch of rules, and there's a bunch of territories. There's a lot going on.
I had the warrior code memorized for a really long time.
I have no doubt. And so she kind of got into it. She brought some other authors on. She started doing more like editorial kind of stuff, like making sure that everything was consistent and overseeing all the stuff that was going and be the editor and stuff. But it ended up being, I mean, there's several people that have written it.
Right now, okay, so it used to be just her, and there were 3 Aaron Hunters back in the day. When Warriors was like a vaguely consistent series back in the day. There were 3 writers. That were Aaron Hunter.
I think the first person probably wrote this book.
Yes.
And then it branched off and other people started writing.
So back in the day, I'm talking like this series.
And it was kind of her job. Her primary job then became to make sure it sounded like the same person wrote all the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and now there's this mystery team that's working. We don't know who's on it, but there's like some people that are rumored to be on this mystery team.
What you're telling me is that this is an ongoing book
still
series.
Going. It's still going.
I was unaware of that.
And so there's this mystery team that's working on it right now. And so if you want to blame someone for all the inconsistencies and weirdness that's going on, do not blame the original people. Blame this mystery team.
So they're not on it anymore. The original 3 aren't part of the mystery team.
2 of them are. The first writer actually left the main Warriors, and she's only working on the novellas now.
The novellas?
What? Okay, so the novellas, aka the super editions, are, I told you about Blue Star's Prophecy, which is my favorite of the Warriors books.
Yeah.
So those are the novellas.
So those are the ones that follow a single cat
throughout their
life cycle.
Yeah.
And you may see, it's like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern kind of thing where you see other stuff that happens in the books, like just from that cat's perspective.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds kind of cool. But I'd have to read a whole lot more of the regular books before one of those made sense to me. I want to get you on a Tall Star's Promise. I want Blue Star's Prophecy. We'll figure all that out. Anyway, all right. So tell us about Into the Wild. What's like the 2-minute summary of Into the Wild?
2-minute summary, Into the Wild. So we have our main character,
Rusty.
Rusty.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. A lot of people hate him. I love him. I would die for him. Okay, So
is this like the conversation that we had at Disney yesterday, where you have to call him Tiger Stripe? Tiger Stripe? What the hell does his name end up being?
Fireheart?
Oh, Fireheart.
What the heck? Are you okay?
So, do you have to call him Fireheart no matter at what phase of his life you're talking about?
Nope.
Like we were talking about at Disney?
No.
Or can you call him Rusty at some point?
No, he's not a trans person. He's just a cat. He could be a trans cat, but the waves don't work like trans
He currently
people.
identifies as Fireheart. And so you don't have to call him Fireheart all the time?
No, that's not how warrior cats work.
All right.
Anyways. Rusty. He's a cat.
He's a kitty pet.
He's a kitty pet. He lives in a house with people. Wow. Yeah. Cat.
I can't remember, do they let him out or does he sneak out?
They let him out.
They let him out.
They're
poor kitty pet parents.
They are bad parents because outdoor cats
don't let
have
cats
have a lot shorter of a lifespan than
don't
cats.
Don't let your cats out. They run around. They join clans of rogue, wild, feral cats.
They join a group of nudist strangers.
They take off their collars. They have a whole religion that they subscribe to.
Religion.
Like it's a lot of stress. So just keep your cat.
I legitimately believed in the cat religion for a while.
And take your cat to the cutter, for God's sakes.
Please, spay and neuter your cats. Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
Anyways,
let's get off track. All right. So there's a cat called Rusty. That's as far as we got, I think, in the summary of what these books are about. There's a cat
called Rusty.
There's a cat named Rusty.
And he goes into the forest and abandons his best friend, Smudge, who I actually nicknamed my cat. I didn't name my actual cat Smudge, unfortunately.
I like Smudge.
But yeah, Smudge is real good.
And Smudge is a cool name.
Yeah, I nicknamed Domino Smudge. I call him Smudge a lot.
Okay.
So, anyways, he abandons his friend and his entire comfortable life for a group of nudist strangers that is really dangerous.
Yep.
And because he goes into the forest and he finds Grey Paw and they fight for like 4 seconds. And then
otherwise known as Lisp Cat.
Yeah, he's gonna go, oh my God, Grey Paw in the audiobook has a lisp and it's the cutest thing ever.
I'm far from the most dangerous. If I were even half a
I would die for
I'd
you.
have given an intruder like you some real wounds to think about.
I love him so much. I love him.
So
he's my favorite.
He stumbled upon Lisp Cat
he's my favorite boy.
When he wandered. So here's what I've
Best
decided.
boy.
All right. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead. Let's just do this, and then I'll say what I've decided.
Okay. So they find Lisp Cat.
He goes in the woods. He finds Lisp Cat.
They fight for like 4 seconds, and then some other cats show up.
Yeah.
And Blue Star's like, hey, you want to join our cult? And he's like, wow, I sure do. And so then he joins the cult. And then, so he goes into the cult and then there's this mean guy called Longtail, and Longtail's real mean, and so he decides he does not want a kitty pet in their good clan, and so he attacks Rusty, and then his collar falls off, and it's I think,
this is a whole like who shot first, like Han Solo thing, right? I'm pretty sure Rusty threw the first punch in that fight. So I think it is incorrect to say that Longtail attacked Rusty. Longtail talked some smack, and then Rusty like just flew on him out of the blue like a spider monkey. And nobody expected him.
And then they fight.
They fight, yeah. And then Rusty's collar pops off.
And it's like, whoa, symbolism. It's a symbolic, and then Rusty becomes Firepaw.
And then that's just over.
Yeah. That's the book.
There's a lot of those.
Roll credits.
We're going to set up this cool like conflict between these two cats, and then, okay, they're cool. It's over.
Yeah, they're cool now.
Don't worry about it. Longtail? Who was that? Like 20 pages later. They're like, is there somebody named Longtail?
Yes, there's somebody named Longtail. Yeah. Longtail was important. He was one of Tiger Guys.
And then they establish critters that don't do what you think they should do. But we'll get to that later.
This one is Tiger Claw.
That's right. All right.
There's 2 tiger cats.
All right, so he joins the clan.
He joins the clan. They, and then he starts training, and then immediately drags a Shadow Clan cat directly into a Thunder Clan camp.
They fight, yeah.
Well, they fight for like 4 seconds.
They start fighting other clans. Yeah. There's other clans of cats, which I don't really understand, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, so Yellowfang shows up. Yellowfang's my mom, and I love her. When she showed up in the book, I was in the car with him, and I immediately screamed I didn't scream as loud as possible, but yeah, Yellowfang's my mom. I love her. Okay. So she shows up, and then Yellowfang orders around Fireheart.
Okay, let's not just do every bit from that video.
Okay. I'm just doing the whole video.
Can you maybe share some original thoughts?
Well, I'm doing it from my memory of it.
Instead of just quoting this one 3-minute video, doesn't need to be our entire podcast.
Moon Kitty video
There's a really good Moon Kitty video, and it is really funny. I totally agree, but maybe you should try and think of something to say that wasn't in that.
I quoted John Mulaney bits for an entire podcast, so why can't I do one Moon Kitty section?
That wasn't in that video.
Okay, well, go watch the Moon Kitty video, because I love Moon Kitty.
I don't want to totally steal this entire podcast from somebody else's bit.
Firepaw goes and does some stuff, and then they go to the gathering, and then Shadow Clan got rid of Wind Clan. Oh no! And then
the clans are fighting.
Also, Yellowfang eats babies.
Yellowfang is a bad guy.
He's a baby eater.
I don't know. So basically, Rusty wanders off in the woods. He joins the Thunder Clan.
I have the in-depth,
which is one of the clans of the cats. And they fight they fight one other clan, really. There's the bad guy cats, and they fight, and Rusty helps save the day. And he gets promoted to being a warrior. In the end, he's a warrior. So he gets his name.
That was much shorter than what I was doing.
That's kind of it. Like it's the whole outsider comes in and saves the day.
Wow.
Storyline, more or less. But there's a lot more to it than that, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot going on, but that's the gist.
Now I'm excited to hear your thoughts, because this was my childhood.
Yeah. So let's talk real quick about the cat names, and then I'll talk about my overall thoughts. So I'm gonna try this. Mm-hmm. So when you're born,
yes,
and you're a little baby, you're a kit.
Yes.
And your name ends in kit.
Yes.
You are something kit.
Yes.
Unless you're a kitty pet, in which you're Rusty or Barley.
You're only Rusty or Barley.
Yeah,
two choices.
Those are the 2 names you could possibly name. And then, so if you're in a clan, you're a kit, and all of the clans adhere to these rules.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're a kit,
except for Sky Clan.
And then at some point, you become an apprentice.
And you're 6 moons.
Which is 6 months.
Yes.
Okay. When you become an apprentice, you become a paw.
Yes.
So you go from kit to paw.
Yes.
So let's say Rusty, who was fire, is what he ends up being Firepaw. Like that's his first.
Yes.
Warrior name.
Which is why he's a bad example.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna retcon Rusty into being born into the clan.
Okay.
And so he would have been Fire Kit.
Yep.
And then on his 6th moon, he would become Firepaw.
Sort of. 6 moon is not specifically. It's like whenever you're ready for training, there's some cats that have been held back because they're not good enough.
Somebody on this podcast just said 6 moons.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was you.
Generally.
Like, I didn't just make that up. You just told me like 10 seconds ago it was 6 moons. And then I say 6 moons, and then you correct me. Is that some trick that you're playing on the podcast now?
Yes.
That you feed me bad information and then correct me when I try and say it?
I wanted to add a little more to that thought.
So at least 6 moons.
At least.
Okay, so he's at least 6 moons old, and he becomes Firepaw. which means
Yes.
he's an apprentice. He's in training now. He's officially in training to become a warrior.
Yep.
What if you're not going to be a warrior? Because some cats don't become warriors.
They become medicine cats?
Yeah, let's say medicine cats.
Then you also become a paw, and you
You're
just
still
train.
a paw?
You just train under the medicine cat.
No, you
yeah.
apprentice in a different. So you're not necessarily a warrior apprentice. You're apprenticing for whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is either medicine
All
cat
right,
or
fair enough.
warrior.
Fair enough. All right.
There's
And
not many interesting jobs in warriors.
are queens not a separate thing? Like they are also warrior and or medicine cat.
Well, medicine cats cannot have relationships and kids. So, if you're a medicine cat,
Yeah.
no romances for you unless you're like
vows of chastity. And
yeah, they're nuns basically.
they're like nuns and monks. But I guess they're all nuns.
No.
Are there monks? Are there boy medicine cats?
Yes, there are.
Okay, well, so they're monks. Oh, is Runny Nose a boy?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
A boy.
Yeah.
He's a boy.
All right.
Anyways, so yeah, medicine cats can't have kids unless you're like me at 9 and wanted to have a forbidden
and then,
romance.
And then what happens is sooner or later you get promoted again to be a full-fledged warrior or medicine cat.
Yes,
And
which
then
you get your warrior name.
And you just get whatever name you want, really.
Well, not what you
Well,
want.
they
The
give
leader
you a name.
chooses
They
it.
give you a name, but it doesn't have like a kit or a paw or
No.
whatever at the end of it.
What's his
So
name?
what I'm saying is that all that got way confusing for me.
Really?
Like because there's a lot of cats and they got a lot of names and they got a lot of last names. They don't really mean anything, and so everybody's cat to me. So Rusty became Fire Cat, and then when he got promoted and he was a full-fledged warrior, he's still Fire Cat. Like it's nice and easy. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Firefox.
There's Spotted Cat. There's Black Cat.
Oh, hot.
There's Gray Cat. There's Tiger Cat. It's easy.
Lion
I know
Cat.
Lion Cat.
Okay.
Blue Cat. I knew who
But
everybody is. We used to
here's
live
the
on Blue
prob-
Cat when we lived in Texas. That was our address.
Wow.
Blue Cat Way.
You're putting our address on the podcast.
It was like 12 years ago, so have at it. I was just looking on Google Earth the other day, actually, your tree. We planted a tree when Presley was born on Blue Cat Way.
How's my tree doing?
Presley's tree has taken over the whole lot. It's really
Just like me.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. The problem with that strategy
Yeah.
is that there are so many cats who have the same prefix. In fact, there are two within like one cat's life, there are two different tiger stars. Two of them.
Yeah, but see, that you're not helping your case there, right? Because
Well,
they have the same
They had a
name.
warrior name before
And so
that.
they could both be Tiger Cat.
They had
and
a
it doesn't
warrior
matter.
name before that.
They're still Tiger. It doesn't matter. You're not helping yourself. I know you think that example helps you somehow, but
There's two.
it does not.
Okay, fine. There are
That
like
comes down on my side, clearly.
I think there are like 6 different people with the Ash prefix over the course
Yeah.
of warriors so
Right.
far. Like
Yeah.
important people.
Yeah, I assume most of them are cats and not people.
Okay,
But-
cat.
Yeah.
Fine. Do you want me to slip back into me calling
No, we're gonna
everyone
say like
cat?
you got to get rid of your suspension of disbelief and just realize this whole time that you're just talking about cats.
I am.
Right.
But I love them.
Right.
I love them.
Okay.
You're missing the fact, and that is that I love them. So
I know that you love them. Yeah. All right, you want to talk about high level thoughts?
all right, let's talk about working.
Aside from the fact that I don't like the naming scheme, I think they should just all be.
Dude, I
be
went
cat.
by Ambertail online for like.
So the other
4
thing we did is that why you went by
years.
Ambertail? Because it was an official like
It was a
sanctioned
warrior cat name.
So we'll do a bit later. Maybe after we
bit.
do
Oh, boy.
housekeeping. Where Presley and I today in the car had this huge conversation about coming up with potential warrior cat names, and it was a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
That was a good time. Like what could be officially considered a warrior cat name?
Yeah, I got the rules
Like you
down.
can't go way out of bounds on what they could be.
It can be smokeweed.
And so we'll talk a lot
Some of my
about
favorites.
we'll go into some of our favorite warrior cat potential warrior cat OCs.
Mountain Dew.
Right. Yeah. We'll get there. All right. So my high level thoughts, aside from not loving the naming scheme and thinking that there were too many cats and getting the rug pulled out from me at one point and
Baby,
being
there
upset
are
about it.
way more
No,
cats.
I know. There were already too many. All right. So let's say I thought number one, of course, it's like super allegorical, and I thought that it would make an excellent like unit study.
About cats?
Not about cats. Like it would be the worst possible unit story about cats. Unit study about cats, right?
Oh, no, my friend.
Because number one, I want to imagine them walking around on their hind legs
No.
with like Puss in Boots, like
They're
and
not
talking
Puss in Boots.
and like having a
They're not
conversation. Like
Puss
in my
in Boots.
in my head, they're just wandering around,
No.
like, having these conversations, and that made it super funny for me.
not
But that's
valid.
not how you want to
You're
study
not
cats.
valid.
You know, none of this has anything to do with learning about cats.
Genetics.
But what
Actually,
you
that's
could
kind of sad.
what you could learn, I think, would be like politics. I think really. Like
Ooh.
if you could kind of come in and say, okay, like Shadow Clan is Syria, and they're killing their own people.
Are they
right?
now?
Yeah. Because like what's his putz was like eating the kits, right?
No,
He was killing them. Maybe he might have eaten them. I don't know.
No, he did not.
He
It
didn't-
said how the cats died.
Well, no, he
He
fought
overworked
them and
them.
killed them. Well, I think he was fighting them too.
Yeah.
Like over fighting
training,
them.
yeah.
Over training them to death, which
Yeah.
is not good training. So yeah, he's killing his own people.
kinda sucks.
And so now suddenly ThunderClan has got to decide, do we need to get involved with, well, he's killing his own kids. Do we need it? Like, it's a whole political allegory of stuff that's going on in the world. And you could, not even sticking to the books. I think it would be cool if there were, there are enough of these books, maybe they do, but you could think about, okay, this book is about, the Czechoslovakian conflict, right? The breakdown in Czechoslovakia. This book is about World War II. Like at a super high level, right? No, it didn't have to you don't have to write it during World War II for it to be about World War II.
Well, I was thinking like current political allegations.
No, like just saying like, okay, this is about World War II, but like a super high level. It's just that you can tell this clan is this, and this is the Axis powers and stuff like that. Like you could totally turn these into major learning tools, but like those kinds of things. And then you're looking at like, oh, you've got like these are the ISIS cats. That are out there doing
ISIS
something.
clan.
Yeah, like the ISIS, you totally, like, the rogues banded together and are doing this thing and creating it. Like, there's this whole opportunity to do some really amazing things. So I thought that was really cool. And I think we may even kind of play around with it a little bit. Like, as part of your unit studies, I may have you do, like, a fanfic. A Warrior Cats fanfic about some historical situation. Like, I think that'll be a really cool lesson.
Can I please call it like Germany Clan?
You can call it whatever you want.
German Clan. Okay, here's my joke, which you're not going to get, but everyone else will.
All
my friends say I'm the nicest unless you're in mother freaking ISIS, which is a vine, and you haven't seen any vines. You've seen one vine.
Yeah, I know Thomas Sanders.
You do.
Yeah,
and you know
Thomas
two
Sanders
bros.
vines. And I know the AB family. I saw their vines. Yeah, I've seen a couple of vines. All right, so the other thing this reminded me a lot of was like zoo conversations.
I thought you were going to say Zeus, and I was like,
Zeus. No. Like, there's a lot of conversations around zoos and about whether zoos are humane or not. Well, and if you say the word zoo too many times back to back, it totally loses all meaning. Like, that feels really weird to be saying zoo.
Zozo.
So, like, if, is it humane for animals to be in zoos or dobutsu in? That sounds better to me.
Okay, fine.
Is it better to put dobutsu in?
That doesn't help.
Or is it better to have them live in nature? And you always hear these arguments about like, yeah, but like this animal, if it was in the wild, it would patrol like 100 square miles. And in the zoo, it's only got this one enclosure to be in. I'm like, yeah, but it's only wandering 100 square miles because it's looking for food. Like, if you just laid food in its lap every day, it would just lay there like my house cat does.
Stop faking our cat.
And not go anywhere, right? But it's an interesting conversation about, they have this thing about kitty pets versus warrior cats.
Which
Clan cats. What do you call the great? They're not
clan
warriors.
Cats.
Clan cats?
Yeah,
clan cats. So there's this weird thing, and obviously they're putting them down, the kitty pets, because you're getting it from the clan perspective. But there's something there about like thinking about this whole like what is the social commentary? I mean, maybe I shouldn't be looking for social commentary in the Warrior Cats books. No, but I think there's something there. Like, I think they're really kind of digging into something about that. So that made me think about zoos and an easy life. Like living an easy life versus living a hard life with a lot of freedom. Yeah. Like, there's an interesting thing there. And even like Rusty, when he went back and talked to Smudge, and he was kind of talking about it, like Smudge is like, oh, is it, like, not is it easy, but you like it better? Is it better or something like that? And like Rusty couldn't just come out and say, yeah, it's awesome. I love it. It's perfect. I wish I'd done it 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, probably not 10 years ago. But
not 10 years old.
I wish, it's awesome. He just he had to like think about it a little bit, and then he's like, well, I know who I am now. Yeah. Like, that was kind of his response to it. And it's like this interesting thing. Like, I have freedom and I can do whatever I want, but it's real hard. And sometimes you think it's easier to just have kind of an easy life and stuff. Like, there's something there. Yeah. There's a kernel of analysis to kind of dig into that. A kernel.
Colonel, Sam?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask you.
Ooh.
I have questions for you, and then they're going to come. Here, I'll give you one more headcanon.
Oh, a headcanon. Yeah. Oh, boy.
This is a good one, too. And this ties back into, this was totally unrelated to what I was saying about why they picked the name for Aaron, whatever. Hunter. I was thinking, like, all the mice that they were chasing and hunting and stuff were the red wall mice. Like, there's a collision of these two universes. The red wall mice. Yeah, I'm totally there. Because I was thinking, like, they're Puss in Boots walking around, so why not be like Puss in Boots mice? running around with their little toothpick swords and stuff.
Okay,
and so
I like
that was the conflict that
Wow.
that was happening in my head the whole time when they were chasing mice. It was a little Redwall guy that was trying to like get back and warn people that something was going on. But then like whenever you're reading Redwall, and they're like, I don't know, our scout didn't come back. I'm like, oh, it's because Rusty killed him, right? So now I have in my head that these universes lay on top of each other. And now that I know that they were even talking about Redwall when they were coming up with all this stuff, I'm going.
Redwall's intense, man.
Yeah, like I said, anytime a Redwall mouse disappears, it's because a warrior cat killed him. From now on, whenever you're reading that,
the truth.
All right, so here's my question.
Government secrets leak.
First question for you.
All right.
Why are there clans?
Why aren't there clans?
Well, like why? Because even Rusty is like,
it.
why aren't we all living together and
Let me
helping
Google that
share
one
food
second.
and do stuff? And it clearly they talk about like there used to be these other clans that predated the existing clans, right?
Yes.
They all came from other clans, but they say we all have
Well, they were different
traits.
species.
We all have traits from each of those clans.
Yeah.
We get our night hunting from this one clan, and we get this from this clan, and we get our general laziness from this other clan. So clearly all those clans came together and passed on this genetic information. And so at some point there were old clans, and the clans came together, and all that genetic information was shared, and all the cats got good stuff, and then we split back out into clans. Like, why are they not sharing everything?
So here's one of my answers.
Why are they competing with each other?
I'm Googling it because I forgot. One of the answers to that question is don't Google that because the first thing that comes up is how Fireheart dies. So
Now I know Fireheart dies.
these book series have been going on since like the early 2000s.
What you're telling me is don't look for spoilers because it'll tell you how Fireheart dies.
This book series has been going on forever. He's not gonna live the whole time.
Seems like a bad way to keep me from being spoiled.
I've told you that. I told you about that when you started reading this. A lot of the cats die. Okay, whatever.
Murder cats.
Murder cats. I call it murder cats because there's so many.
So you don't have a
cats.
well formed theory in your head about why they don't just join,
Well, no,
join together.
They said why.
Not
I
in
just
this
forgot
book.
why. Not in this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so many moons ago, so a couple months ago, so the forest was wilderness, untamed by territories. Cats came into the forest, drawn in by the soft rustlings of small creatures, shadows under the water, and the sudden commotion of birds' wings in the trees. The cats lived in small groups, not yet clans, and there were no borders set down. The cats fought constantly, fearful that prey might run out and their overlapping territories were being threatened. It was a lawless, bloody time.
Yeah. So why do they have
forest.
territories? Like that
Because
doesn't answer
they're
my question.
wildcats. They're literal wildcats.
But like then each of them would have their own little territory,
Yes.
not clans. You're already talking about them joining together in groups.
Well, there's
groups,
like a
not
small
clans.
group.
I don't know what the distinction
There's
is
like
between
a group.
groups,
There's
not
like
clans.
the Panthers and whatever. There were no Panthers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
whatever.
Right.
And then one night when the moon was full, the cats agreed to meet at a clearing in the
I mean,
forest.
I'm just going to say it was because it would be a pretty boring book if they all just hung out and hunted together. And,
Okay,
you gotta have nemesis.
No, it was because that a bunch of people died, and then all the cats were like, "Yeah, that's screwed up. Let's we're going to go off in our own place, but we're not going to fight during the gathering." And
how
they left.
How do they not know where the other clan
No,
headquarters
apparently
are?
that's only the medicine cat. I don't know. They do. That's the thing. It's that they
Kinda
do.
dumb. They can smell each other from like 100 miles away, but they don't know where like there's 50 cats in a little cubby.
The thing is
somewhere.
that they do.
That seems
they
silly.
know where everyone else is.
They don't. They do not. Clearly,
They're
I
supposed
just
to.
listened to this book. They do. They have no idea. They needed.
I
they needed
noticed that in the
Yellowfang
book.
to lead them to where they're going to find.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You know where the headquarters is? Can you take us there? Let's go do that.
I noticed that in the book, and you're supposed to know. Okay, whatever.
They don't know.
Anyway,
All right. Next question is where do loners hunt?
where do loners hunt?
Yeah.
They
There's a
hunt.
big thing about not
right.
hunting in another cat's territory.
They have.
So
They have
are
their
there
own
there
zone.
unclaimed territories?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of unclaimed stuff. Loners are kind of. Well, it depends on the clan and it depends on the patrol. But some loners are just allowed to wander through clans and hunt if they need to.
Mm-hmm.
But there is like a farm area off next to the forest where Barley lives in a barn.
Right. So
and
Barley does not live in anyone's territory.
No, Barley lives off on his own and he hunts there.
Okay.
And a lot of the loners hunt there.
All right.
It's sort of the same area. In my head, at least this might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's over where Sky Clan is. And you don't know what Sky Clan is.
I have no idea.
I was telling you about Sky Clan names, though.
You were. I thought you were talking about Star
No,
Clan.
Star Clan
Yeah.
is Cat Heaven.
Cat Heaven. Over the rainbow.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And they talk to you. They talk
do.
to some people.
They talk to the leaders,
Through
and they
the
talk to the
Moonstone.
medicine cats, and they talk to people important to the plot, and that's it.
But there was this weird thing about like, oh, we got to go to the Moonstone and sleep by the Moonstone.
Moonstone lets you talk to everyone.
So that we can get messages. But then
Okay.
Maplethorpe got a
Maple Dapple.
Maple Dapple got a message directly from StarClan, like at the very beginning of the book, like the pre-intro thing.
Do you remember what Maplethorpe is from?
Yeah, he's a photographer.
No, Maplethorpe is from Dark Matter. It's the password to the door.
Yeah, right.
Maplethorpe. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
So Maple Dapple, whose name is Spotted Leaf, by the way.
Spotted Leaf. It's not Maple Dapple or Maplethorpe. Spotted Leaf.
Neither
Okay.
of those.
So Spotted Leaf.
Okay,
but
so
Spotted
visions.
Leaf was a medicine cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Medicine cats and leaders and people important to the plot get visions.
Well, I totally get that they get visions, but why the hell did they have to go to the Moonstone?
Okay, so the Moonstone.
Because Maplethorpe was not at the Moonstone when they got the fire is going to kill everybody mythology.
That's not what it said.
The entire forest is going to burn down and all the cats are going to die.
No,
I think
it said fire will save the clan. So, no.
Which clan?
Thunder Clan, because the Thunder Clan...
By killing all the other clans
Thunder
in
Clan
fire?
Medicine Cat got that.
Kill it with fire?
Oh, well, I mean, Blue Star might commit arson.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
We don't know. Okay, so... So, the Moonstone and the other places connect. There's like 4 places connected directly to StarClan. They are connected directly... The Moonstone...
By, like, 4 trees?
Well, 4 trees is not... 4 trees is where they meet.
Is 4 trees actually at the junction of all their territories?
Yes.
Okay.
So 4 trees is where they all meet. That's where gatherings are. And then the Moonstone and a bunch of other places are connected directly to StarClan. That is... So StarClan cats... Any StarClan cat can get in and out and deliver messages there. And that's where the leaders get their 9 lives. That's where... That's where a lot of stuff happens, is at these connected to StarClan directly.
Can you lose more than 1 life in one go? Can you take a damage so significantly that you lose more than 1 life?
I think if the wound is deep enough to kill you more than once. I think that's happened before, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's connected directly to StarClan. But StarClan can...
And only stars have 9 lives. Not all cats have 9 lives.
Only leaders do, yes.
Yeah.
And then...
And apparently they're the only ones that keep up with their lives because that somehow she kept that a big secret. Like 4 lives or something different between...
She went and died alone and in a hole, so they didn't know. She's like, I'm going to go...
Just on a Sunday, she had a day off, so she went and died in the hole by herself.
No. Well, if she sustained really heavy injuries, she probably just, like, I don't remember because I haven't read this book in a while. She probably, like, went somewhere, like, in her den and then died and then didn't tell anyone she died and just told people she got better.
It's like Monty Python. I got better. She turned me into a newt.
Go watch our Monty Python podcast.
I think that clip might even be in there. I think it's like but it was like 2 or 3 lives that were different than what she was telling people.
She lost a bunch of lives.
So she's a liar. She's a dirty, rotten liar.
I said.
She said, I've got 5 lives left. You know, like a liar.
She did.
Really,
Good
she
job.
only had 2.
Okay, so
go watch the John Mulaney podcast.
Go watch all our podcasts now.
All right.
Okay.
Go watch. Don't watch any of them. Just listen to them.
Yeah, go listen to them. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, it's connected directly to StarClan, but StarClan can break through and give you a message if it's important.
Okay.
So it's like...
All right, so I'm assuming that there's some level of significance to the fact that Firecat saw something when he was sleeping next to the Moonstone.
Yes.
And he hasn't told anybody yet that he saw something, right? Nobody knows it. But he's not keeping it secret. Like, I assume at this point he probably thinks everybody sees stuff.
Yeah.
He probably thinks it's not weird that he saw stuff,
Do you remember what it was?
So I think at some point he's going to go, oh, is it like when I saw... And I totally expected him to do that because it was something like when the Shadow Clan was raiding the village, right?
Yeah.
He saw kind of like while they were away, Shadow Clan was raiding their den. And then when he got back and that was happening, I totally expected him to be like, oh, this is like that vision that I had next to the Moonstone. And Blue Cat to be like, what? Right? And like
she makes that noise exactly.
Right. Like, I can't believe that's what just happened. Oh my God, you had the vision? Right? Because what happens, this is what happens with visions, right? And this is maybe allegory for like the real world too, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't count if like a week after Shadow Clan invades Thunder Clan, then Firecat is like, oh yeah, I had a vision that was going to happen. Like, I don't buy that. Like, I'm not going to believe you if you say that.
I don't know.
But if you say it before it happened and then it happens, I'm like, oh my God, that guy, something happened. There was some legitimate prophecy there, right?
Magic, okay.
You can't say, oh, I knew that. I totally knew that was going to happen. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you
not
can't
how
do that.
prophecy works.
I knew that.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's the Moonstone and other places are connected directly to StarClan. StarClan can break through the boundaries. Stop kicking me.
Connected through what mechanism exactly?
I don't know.
Magic?
Yeah, magic.
Right, okay.
They're connected through magic. And so,
Are they? This was part of my conversation. This was part of my question too. Is when they're talking about StarClan, that's the Dead Cats, right?
Yes.
Are they constellations, or is it just like kind of the Milky Way kind of thing? But are they actually looking up and being like, oh hey,
That's
look,
Silverpelt.
that's Bob.
Bob, my favorite warrior cat.
Bobcat.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's Bobcat up there in that constellation. And then
Okay,
when this cat dies, there's a new constellation up there.
That's Greek mythology.
Tomcat.
That's Greek mythology,
Tomcat.
dude.
Look at that.
That's Greek mythology, dude.
Right, but as I'm saying, is that what's happening here, or is it just there's a big blob
No. Okay, so there's
like the Milky Way is kind of?
Yes, the Milky Way is called Silverpelt.
No, Silverpelt. Okay.
So Silverpelt.
Is
Sometimes
that one cat, or is that
No.
like a place?
Silverpelt
Because
is like,
Silverpelt totally a cat name.
Silverpelt is valid. But
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's Silverpelt.
Right.
I think I actually went by.
You think it would be wrong if they named somebody Silverpelt?
Yeah,
would
but
that
I
be like
named
all
my-
arrogant and cocky and stuff
Yeah,
for a
but
mom to name their?
I
kid?
named myself Silverpelt
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was arrogant and cocky.
Mary Sue.
Yeah, my Mary Sue warrior Sue was named Silverpelt. Anyways, and I was like, see, it's like the constellations. And I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Do you think are they all constellations? Or is
I
it-
don't think so. I wish sometimes they're like, well, sometimes they're like up in the stars is Lion Clan, and that's Star Clan.
all
The
cats.
stars are Star Clan, but I don't think new ones appear.
All cats go to heaven.
No, actually,
no.
There's cat hell.
What?
They have
Oh my
cat
God!
hell.
Why didn't you have me read the Cat Hell book?
Because of the first one.
That's what I need to read. Is the cat?
Cat
I
Hell?
want to read the
It's
Cat
called
Hell
Dark
book.
Forest. It's
Are there
pretty
like
cool.
lots of dogs and stuff?
No, there's no dogs in cat hell. It's just cat hell. It's just cat. Well, no, cat hell is evil cat Star Clan. It's
Is it you have to live in a house with a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old?
Shut up! You're bullying me.
Is that Cat Hell?
No, cat hell is actually the same as Star Clan, but evil. And sometimes there's blood.
Oh, they
there's
give like
blood-
prophecies and stuff?
Yeah, and sometimes there's like blood rivers and stuff.
So there's like Sith cats.
Yeah, there's Sith cats.
Oh my God.
There was,
I'm so much more interested in this series
once
now.
someone went to, had a vision from, and this might have happened in the fic, I don't remember, but someone had a vision of the Dark Forest and there's a pile of bodies and the guy was standing on it, so that's cat hell for you.
I've got a feeling that there's a pretty fine line between the fanfic and the official novels in,
There
in
is.
this universe.
I might be talking about Star Kid's prophecy because I haven't read all the books in a really long time.
Yeah.
And I have been keeping up on Star Kid's prophecy.
Okay, I'll definitely read more now. Okay,
you're gonna
hey,
get
let's
to see Cat Hell.
let's before we branch off into a couple of other things, let's do a little housekeeping here, right?
All right.
Oh, let me pull up my. I can even do our little official.
Wow.
Ooh, hey, all right, guys. So a couple of things in housekeeping today. First is we love hearing from you guys, right? It's one of our favorite things, and we have an email.
We have an email.
Yay! I gotta find it though.
yeah.
All right, here we go. So our email, not hugely surprising in two ways. The first way in which it's not hugely surprising is from it's from our good buddy RJ,
Hey,
who we love.
what's
Hi RJ. The second way, and I knew I was going to get this email. I was not at all surprised to get this email.
What is it?
It is titled "Don't Bash on Keanu."
See, I was right. We love Keanu.
RJ likes Keanu.
This is a
And
Keanu Reeves
and I
loving
like
household.
Keanu. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Keanu. I'm just saying, like, sometimes if someone's like early acting career, his acting's a little wooden, you make his character dumb. I wasn't saying Keanu Reeves was dumb. That's not what I was saying.
We
out
love
loud.
Keanu Reeves in this
I was
home.
saying that his acting was a little rough, and so you make his character dumb so that it fits more with his acting style.
His acting is
And then
fine.
now you make him in these unintelligible commercials about building websites to sell motorcycles where he's in the sky talking to himself to cover up said acting capabilities, right? Like I have been proven right. Like my dream is that tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and there's going to be some sort of like motorcycle whiskey commercial with Keanu Reeves and Matthew McConaughey. And it's going to be like Nirvana. It's going to be like the greatest advertising campaign to ever hit the airwaves. Like, I will be a very, very, very happy man if that comes to pass.
Okay.
And I love both of those guys. Absolutely love both of those guys. But they make some weird commercials. And they make some interesting choices in other ways too. But I'm not bagging on Keanu Reeves. I support
a lot of Keanu Reeves choices. Keanu Reeves is
John
a nice
Wick. Both of those movies are some of the best movies I've ever seen.
John Wick is awesome.
I love the John Wick movies. So I'm not bagging on him. RJ, I am not bagging on him. I love
read
him.
the email.
Yeah. All right. So he says, with more news on the Bill and Ted reunion.
Ooh, oh yeah, I heard about that.
Have you? I haven't looked that up. So, RJ, tell me what's going on with. Is it a new movie, like a reboot, or are they getting back together and doing a tour? I don't know what's going on.
They did a
You say reunion. That's an interesting thing. I don't know what reunion means in that context.
So there's something where
you must watch the movies. Plus, how is Presley enjoying? So you want to be a wizard?
I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it really thoroughly. It's really, really good.
It's a really cool sounding book. I haven't read that one yet.
I love that.
Presley's doing that one. I haven't gotten to that one yet, but that's a good one. So, Mary Bookmas. More thoughts on Ready Player One. Yeah, I think we may actually do like a one-off podcast and talk about Ready Player One. I want to see it again. I want to watch it one more time, and then I may even read the book again. Presley and I may both do the book again, and then we may do like a one-off. I've always wanted this podcast to also sort of include current media that we're both experiencing for the same time. And so I think Ready Player One is because Ready Player One is the source of this podcast, right?
Yes, it is.
In a very real way. If it wasn't for Ready Player One and Falzone and the Mooch, this podcast would not exist. We're actually going to see Falzone and the Mooch here in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we are, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. All of the Valley folk are going to be out at ClamorCon.
I'm going to walk right up to Steve, and I'm going to look him right in the eyes, and I'm going to go, razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle? Are you going to kick him? You got to kick him if you do it like a chin spinning back kick. Okay, and there's this week's Lost conversation. All right, he says another movie to watch is Surf Ninjas, which I have seen, with Ernie Reyes Jr. Right? So Ernie Reyes, the little guy from Last Dragon.
Yeah,
he did a movie called Surf Ninjas.
I heard about that movie.
Did you really? Yeah. We should totally watch it. I really love Ernie Reyes Jr.
It sounds like a fun time.
I love Ernie Reyes.
Was it a good movie?
It had Ernie Reyes Jr. in it.
Were there ninjas on surfboards?
There were, in fact. It's kind of, you know what it reminds me of is like Power Rangers, right? Because you got kind of like the kids working in the pizza shop. Wasn't there a pizza shop on the beach in one of the Power Rangers series?
Have no idea.
And then they had to go down in some secret portal through the pizza shop and turn into the Power Rangers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
No,
Turtles.
as I say it sounds very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I think that one of them was the Power Rangers. Cool. And so you've got Power like the Rangers. Cool, beautiful young people, surfer kids that are actually Power Rangers. Surf Ninjas, a little bit like that. Little in that genre.
Surfers and
so we should totally watch that. Thank you very much, RJ.
Cool.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the Ready Player One stuff. Let us know what's going on with Bill and Ted.
Did this email include the word hankering?
No, there was no more hankering because I don't think I said hankering last time. Okay, so Poochon, why don't you let people know if they want to send us an email and have us make fun of their favorite actor.
Listen, I'm not making fun. I'm defending Keanu right here.
I'm not either. And I don't know that that's our new favorite actor. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay,
if you want us to make fun of someone, tell us in an email.
Tell us who you like, and we'll mock them.
On our great podcast.
So this is our shtick. So we validate each other, but we mock all of you. Yeah, right.
We hate him. This is an exclusive club.
Okay, how do people line up for mocking?
All right. We won't mock you. We'll just mock your favorite people. Okay, so email us at validatemepodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And send us a tweet at validatemecast on Twitter. I'm just sort of zoning out when I do this.
At ValidateMeCast.
At ValidateMeCast on Twitter. But
Yep.
don't send us a tweet because we don't read them live.
Or, of course you could. Yeah, that's good. That's a good policy. Send us an email. Or you can respond to the video if you want to post in the comments. But really, the emails are what we look at when we're doing the podcast.
On air.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So please do that. That would be awesome. We also want to talk a little bit about sponsor. Who's our sponsor?
Audible.
Audible.com. And Audible.com is exactly how I listen to Warriors.
It is.
I used one of my credits on the first Warriors book. And so I'm going to go ahead and make that my official recommendation for this time. So I think you go out there. You can go to audibletrial.com/valid, which is a fantastic URL that I'm very happy about. And you sign up, you get a free month, you get a free book. Maybe your free book could be Warriors, and then you can come talk to us about it. Like send us email and tell us what you think about the Warrior Cats and the horrible naming system.
It's not horrible.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks when I assign Presley her homework. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, so thank you very much to Audible. I love Audible. I've probably listened to, I don't know, some 50, 60 books in the past maybe year even.
Yeah.
On there. I'm constantly downloading and listening to books. I got kind of in a rut where I listened to a couple of like 60-hour books back to back and queued up a whole bunch of credits. And so I queued up a bunch of credits, and so now I'm turning through books again, and I'm listening to one called right now. I'm listening to one right now called "They Both Die in the End."
Wow!
And so far, I'm really enjoying that one. It doesn't sound like a book you would enjoy, and
it's
it
really
is one that does. What was the other one that I read? One of Us is Lying.
Yeah.
So there's this really weird book. There's this trend of books coming out with titles that are extremely descriptive of what's happening in the books. So One of Us is Lying, and Both of Us Die in the End. Both good books so far. I've been pretty happy with them.
Yeah,
really cool premise on We Both Die in the End. Die in the end. Good stuff.
End.
Good stuff. All right, so let's get back into the podcast here. Thank you very much to Audible. Thank you to RJ for sending us the email. Please send us email, and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
Also, they both have LGBT plus characters now.
They do.
Fact.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to read books that don't have LGBT characters in them anymore.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. He listened to Simon versus Homo Sapien Agenda once, and all Audible will recommend to him is gay books now, and I'm so happy about that.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, and then it gives me good books to listen to. Okay. Anyways,
let's go back into the podcast.
All right. All right.
And we're back.
Wow, we're back.
No. All right. So the only thing I've got left, I think.
Only thing.
Yeah, you can dive into stuff too. I do want to have a quick conversation. Yeah, we got to dig into some of your kid stories. When you were Presley Kit.
I was not Presley Kit. Bad name.
We need to dive into like some of our favorite imaginary OC warrior cat names.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Can I say hell on the podcast?
Yeah, you can say hell on
the podcast.
I
said cat hell, so whatever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to do yours first, which I hate?
Well, so my favorite that I finally came up, we kicked a bunch around, and we'll see if we come up with some others, but I want there to be, my official warrior cat's name right now is Big Pants.
I hate it. It's so awful. They don't know what pants is,
No,
Dad.
So I had to come up with this whole theory about he used to be a kitty pet, and so he knew what pants were, and so he became like the keeper of knowledge. So I likened it to like the Muggles study professor in Harry Potter. That he comes into the clan, and all these other cats are like, oh my God, like I want to know. Can you teach us about two legs? And he's like, yeah, they have these things called pants that they wear. And so everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to call you Big Pants. And so he got dubbed Big Pants, and he's my favorite cat. And so Presley's argument was that even a cat who was a kitty pet doesn't know what pants are. And so my counter argument to that was, how many times in his life do you think Domino has heard someone say, Cooper, can you put on some pants, please? And I think it's a lot. I'm pretty sure Domino has probably figured out what pants are.
Or
at this
maybe
point.
Domino is Big Pants.
And again, Domino probably could be Big Pants. And for the record, like the pants.
Domino's also big.
I'm talking about the 2 back leg pants and not the 4 leg pants and the whole which dog pants do you pick meme thing. I'm not all about that. Right?
Which dog pants do you pick?
You know what? My other favorite, speaking of my favorite other warrior cat name that I came up with was Dank Meme.
I hate it. It's awful. It's the worst. That is the worst thing you've ever done in your entire life.
And then Dank Meme came into the clearing.
No, go away. Leave this podcast right now. Let me make my funny jokes alone. Okay. So my warrior cat name, the only one, the one that I really liked. Well, I have the classic ones, but the one I really liked is Saeed Joke.
Saeed Joke is a solid.
It's my warrior cat name.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
And then there's the classic warrior cats funny names that are legal. These are all legal. Is Smokeweed, Mountain Dew, Garfield. Gar is a kind of fish.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Garfield
is
a valid warrior cat's name.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to you, and then you go, speaking of, and I went, speaking of Garfield? And you went, yup, which is a really weird exchange to have. Because no one ever says, speaking of Garfield.
And did I then say, oh, wait, I'll tell you during the podcast?
No.
Oh, good, because I don't remember what I was talking about. I'm glad that's not where I went with that at all.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it's that you might interview the Garfield guy.
Yeah, I might interview the Garfield guy.
Yeah, if you have Garfield, if you have questions that you want Presley to ask the guy that did Garfield, let us know that too, because you may interview him soon.
Okay, so there's Garfield, Mountain Dew, Smokeweed.
What was the Hawaiian Kush or whatever?
Blaze.
Hawaiian Blaze. And I was like, Hawaiian Blaze? Like, that sounds like something you get in a pot shop. You have any of that Hawaiian Blaze in?
Hawaiian Blaze.
That stuff was really good.
Blaze.
Can you hook me up with some more of that Hawaiian Blaze?
No. They don't know what Hawaii is. Okay.
There are cats in Hawaii.
There are cats in Hawaii, but these cats are
Where are they?
England.
That's a good question.
They're
Are they in England? You're kidding me.
Yeah, they're in England.
I didn't detect an accent.
They're in England. The cats don't have accents. They're cats.
Oh, there was
They're
also
meowing at each other.
what were we doing with the so Lisp Cat, who I love, who's actually in the books, so I can't pick him. But we were doing a thing about like the gay cat, right?
Okay, so here's this conversation which I had.
Yeah.
So he said Lisp Cat, and I was like, I said Lisp Cat. And then he went, so you mean gay cat? And then I said, well, you're not wrong. So, yeah. Yeah, gray stripe.
Oh, I'm far from the most dangerous.
I love you.
If I were even half a warrior, I'd have given an intruder like you some real wounds to think about.
I love him so much.
He's like the cowardly lion. It's so bad. He's awesome. I love him, though. I love him. And I was like, did he have a lisp in the book? Like, was he written like that? And it was just like an acting decision by the person doing the book. Kudos to you, sir.
I love it.
Kudos to you, sir.
Do you have a clip of Fireheart speaking?
No, I do not.
Oh my god, he sounds...
Oh, no, I do not.
He sounds exactly like an anime protagonist. It's wild.
Hey,
it's like, I am Fireheart and I'm gonna save the clan.
So let's do this. So tell me, give us like a real quick rundown of the rules of Warrior Cat names, and then let's let people send us their favorite made-up Warrior Cat names.
Okay, so...
Maybe we'll even do a contest and see who comes up with the coolest Warrior Cat name.
Whoever wins gets to have their favorite actor made fun of on the podcast live.
All right, so what are the rough general...
So the
let's not get super specific here. What are the general rules?
All right, the rules are... and these are not official rules, but these are rules that names adhere to in the books.
Yeah.
So the rules are, there are no adjectives as suffixes. All things must be known by cats somehow.
So yeah,
Except for Saeed
cats have to be aware of the thing that they're named after.
Yes,
and warrior cats specifically. That's a loose. I'm not holding you to that.
Warrior cats. Okay, a wild. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna hold you to that, and I'm gonna be mean about it.
How can your favorite cat be Saeed Joke?
Saeed Joke was a funny.
They don't know who
joke.
Saeed is, and they probably don't know what jokes are based on the books that I read.
Okay, so Saeed Joke is a funny joke. Okay, anyways, so no adjectives as your suffix. All things have to be known to a wildcat.
I mean, really, in general, it's an adjective and a noun.
Yeah, adjective, noun, usually.
Or a lot of times,
Verb,
and
noun,
I think what works
adjective,
better
verb.
is like an adjectival noun. An adjectival?
Yeah,
Adjectival?
sure. Let's go with that.
It is a noun used as an adjective, like tiger paw.
Lion heart.
Lion heart.
Lion blaze.
Saeed Joke.
Saeed Joke.
Totally works.
Anyways, everything must be known to a cat. You cannot use kit, paw, or star as a first name.
We're doing like full on warrior names here.
No kit, paw, star as a first name.
Or last name, I would say.
Or
when you're making up your
Or
own
a
cat,
last
let's
name.
use warrior names so they're
You
a little
can
bit
do
more clever.
star if it's really funny.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
And then those are really the rules.
Yeah, so just either an adjective noun that makes a funny cat name or a noun used as an adjective noun that is a funny thing. Saeed Joke. So yeah, send us, make up a couple of funny cat names and send them to us. All right, cool. So tell us a little bit, like we got, I don't know, like 10 more minutes or so?
Okay.
Give us a little bit of your warrior cat LARPing adventures and fantasy world saga.
I got a lot of those. All right, so the first one, the main one, is one that I'm sure Mom remembers very vividly. It's the time I almost broke someone's arm warrior cat LARPing.
I will say too, in addition to this, I would say it's almost certainly the thing that has made you cry the most.
Out of any book series, yes.
Out of any books. And that's saying something, because Presley likes to cry at a good book.
Shut up.
Presley.
This is mean.
Presley cries in books.
I do cry a lot during books.
But I think the Warrior series, like the first time I remember her as a little Presley kit, reading, coming out of her room, like just in hysterics.
Okay.
And I thought she was just in there kind of chilling out, but it was because she was so Presley taught herself how to read when she was tiny. She was a tiny little Presley kit, and she learned like 3 maybe. She taught herself how to read, and so she was just reading books when she was 3. she read one of the Warrior Cat books, and somebody died, and she was just beside herself. She came in just bawling. It took like days to console her from that.
I don't know.
And it's
who
been
it was.
it continued to be like an ongoing theme.
I still
like
cry over Warrior Cats.
She cries around the Warrior Cat stuff. All right.
Okay, so
anyway.
I cry.
So how did you break somebody's arm? What happened?
Okay, so almost. I didn't break someone's arm quite,
Okay,
but I
all
came
right.
really close to it.
Okay.
So the story is.
Did you say that karate was better than jiu-jitsu?
I did almost split someone's head open when they said that, and I'm so sorry.
Taekwondo. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Anyways, I did actually. That was the thing that happened. I've injured so many people in my lifetime. Sorry. Okay, so the story is there was this where we would Warrior Cats LARP is all of us would with permission from our parents jump over. Yes, we did. We had permission from our parents. I was like, Mom, can I go play with everyone? And then we left. So what we would do is we would go out to this kid's backyard and we would jump over the fence. And cross the street.
Did you have permission to do that?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We would cross the street, which I'm not sure if we had permission to do, but we crossed the street.
The Thunder Path?
Yes, we crossed the Thunder Path, and then there was this. We also found a dead fox there at one point. There was this field that had a pipe. It was like a
Culvert.
Sure. It was this big thing. It was sort of a dam. It had this big concrete wall, and then there was a pipe that never actually had any water in it.
Okay.
And so the concrete dam had one side, which was all concrete, which was where all the water was supposed to be, and then the other side was a field.
What you're saying is the concrete dam was made of concrete?
Yes. Well, there was one side. On one side of the concrete wall, there's concrete. On the other side, there's a field. Okay. There's this concrete, and the wall is like 10 feet tall.
All right.
And so there's 10 feet tall.
It's probably like 3 feet tall.
It was not. It was 10 feet tall. I remember very specifically that you would have two of the tallest kids had to sit on each other's shoulders to reach the top. Or at least
Did they put on a big trench coat?
Yeah.
A hat?
Well, it was like two 6 foot tall teenagers stacked on top of each other. So anyways, so there's this concrete thing, and that was High Rock. Or our High Rock, which we did not call High Rock. We called it I think we called it Stonewall, which is hinting that we were all gay.
Yeah.
We called it Stonewall.
Uh-huh.
We called it Stonewall because it was our original clan, which was called I don't remember. It was Cool Clan or whatever.
Were you a medicine cat at some point in time?
I was a medicine cat. I'm going to tell that story too. Okay. I think at this time I was the deputy.
Oh, okay.
So at this time I was the deputy.
Yeah.
I was
Deputies don't get names, right?
They don't get fancy names.
It kind of seems crappy.
No, they get.
That's the one thing that I thought, as far as the name, if you're going to follow the naming system, if you become a deputy, you should get a cool name.
Deputy's just the best word.
And it should probably be Star.
No.
Like a badge.
Well, no, because then there's already a star. Then there would be 2 stars. It'd be confusing.
Well, Star would probably be better as the badge.
Moon.
Yeah, Moon. All right, anyway.
Anyways, so I was a deputy. My name was Ambertail, which was my name for basically any cat I'm going to specify as Ambertail or some variation of Amber something. Because I was obsessed with Amber.
Yeah.
So I was sitting next to the leader whose name was, I don't remember her name. I'm going to go with Snowstar.
Okay.
And Snowstar was sitting on the top.
Do you remember who Snowstorm was?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Do
you
I know?
her. Yes,
okay.
you know her.
Right.
She was actually the person that lended me the first Warrior Cats book, which got my addiction started.
Oh, interesting. What are her initials?
NH.
All right.
D.
Whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't know any of your friends.
So, okay, so she's sitting on the High Rock, and I'm sitting next to her, and she's doing her speech. I think that she was announcing the recent death of two cats who have died in the war, because there's a war going on with an imaginary clan. So she was announcing this, and I was sitting there, and then it turns out that her brother was a traitor.
Dun, dun, dun.
Not her cat's brother, her actual real life brother. Was a traitor, and so he runs up onto Stonewall, and he's fighting us.
Yeah.
And I knock him down onto the concrete side, and he lands on his arm.
10 feet.
A while. I don't know if it was 10 feet. It was a long time, and his arm hurts.
A while. That's not a measure of distance. Was it 10 feet? Well, it was a while.
It was a gallon. It sure was a gallon. Okay, so
is that like doing the Kessel Run in parsecs?
Okay.
Right.
Stop complaining about Star Wars in our Warrior Cats podcast.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so yeah, he falls off the wall and he lands on his arm and it hurts really bad and he might have fractured it. I don't think he fractured it. It just
And you all just left him there.
No. We all he got up and he's like, I'm fine. And so we kept Warrior Cats role playing, except his arm really hurt this whole time. And actually Lee, of the Valley Folk, was talking about, I was listening to Valley Folk this morning, and Lee was telling, she broke her wrist, and she's like, it's fine.
She was like LARPing Warrior Cats? What?
She broke her wrist.
Oh my God.
She broke her wrist.
You guys have a lot to talk about at ClanRaCon.
She broke her wrist, and it was a really similar story where, like, she thought she was fine.
It's not similar anyway.
Well, she thought she was fine the whole time, and she's just hanging out. And he was hanging out, and then we go home, and he's like, yeah, Mom, I fell off the concrete thing, and my arms really hurts. And she's like, well, I'm sorry. And so we got banned from playing Warrior Cats over there. Did not stop us. We kept going there.
Did he say Presley pushed me off of the concrete thing?
No, because I don't think he said that because we were friends, and he was a good friend. He did not implicate me to the police.
This is not the place we shot the video where you were playing?
No, this is a different place.
Yeah.
This is outside his yard. And we were doing this homeschool thing together, so after we go there. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm saying these rivers run pretty deep, folks. Like, there's Presley can go into a lot of detail about her own, like, her and her friends' Warrior Cats LARPing and stuff like that. All right. So you can tell one more medicine cat story, and then let's wrap up and get out here. I'll give you an assignment.
Oh, boy. Okay, so medicine cat stories. Medicine cat stories.
Or if you have a different story you think's a better story, then go for it.
What's some good Warrior Cat stories? So, one of the ones that I remember very vividly is how I got recruited to be a medicine cat. Oh, okay. Is that there was, which is not how it works in Warriors. This was out of character, kind of. It was in character, but also out of character.
All right.
It was a non-canon scene.
Yep.
Where
I'm assuming all of this was not canon.
In our Warriors ORP, me and the kid who was the traitor, same kid, different.
Oh, okay.
Different universe, same kid.
Different universe.
This is a different group of cats.
Same human.
Playing
a different cat.
Yes, so it was the same kid. Right. And we were sitting in the Warriors' den. We were also at a castle while this was happening, like an actual real life castle.
Nice.
And our leader was quizzing us on. Ooh, I have two stories. Okay, heck, I'm gonna do.
Pick one.
Okay, so this story's boring, so I'm going with the next one. The next one is my basement at the old house.
Yeah, okay.
Was a Warrior
Colorado?
Cats. Yes,
yeah.
Colorado basement.
Oh, yeah.
It was Warrior Cats.
The bookshelf thing.
Yeah, the bookshelf.
Yeah.
So we had this giant shelf in our basement that went all the way up to the ceiling, and each thing had enough room to have one person sit in it.
Yeah.
And then there were like 6 cubes. Not cubes, they were rectangles, but whatever.
Yeah, like 9 maybe even.
There were like 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was like 9.
Yeah.
And so those were dens.
Yeah.
And I remember very vividly, I was playing Warrior Cats with 2 kids, same kids. I had like the same group of Warrior Cats RP people. So I had a group of kids who I knew, who knew about Warrior Cats, and then there was this one person, there were 2 people, one kid who actually really likes Warrior Cats now, and this kid who had no idea, who's the same kid I split open the head of.
See, you still call it Warrior Cats. I think that's funny. Because it's totally not called Warrior Cats.
It's not called Warrior Cats.
I know.
Okay, whatever.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways.
So they were overplaying.
We're in this den thing, and I decided I would draw all the cats, and hung them up.
Yeah.
And this one kid who didn't know anything about Warrior Cats was like, I am tired of this. I don't know what's going on. I feel unincluded. And so he ripped everything off and dumped his lemonade on all my drawings. And I got really, really mad. And so then then he left.
Yeah.
He like got up and went upstairs and hung out with the moms the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I still played Warrior Cats with everyone else. And then I made this whole story up about how he died because he was a traitor and I killed him. And so I was like, this dude sucked, and I killed him.
I remember, like, in our basement, so we had, like, these big shelving units that just were, like, storage. They weren't bookshelves. They were, like, storage units in the basement.
Yeah.
And so I went down there one day, and, like, all of the stuff was off of the shelves and just in the floor. And then there were little, like, drawings of cats taped to each of the little cubby holes. And, like, each person had their own cubby.
Yeah.
And we couldn't put our stuff back up because that was officially, like, the Warrior Cat cubby place. They would all play. And then after, like, several months, somebody fell through one of the shelves.
I forgot about that.
Like, the top level.
I forgot about that.
I go downstairs and the whole thing is just, like, collapsed. And, like, clearly they went, and it was like a TV, like a cartoon, where he was on the top, or she, or whoever it was on the top, and then they busted through and hit the next level, and then busted through that and hit the next level, and then busted through and hit the floor. Like, it was like a poof, 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 because it was all broken, like, all the way down. And then they never played in there again, so I got to put the stuff back in the bookshelves.
Yeah, I forgot that happened. That was definitely a thing that happened.
I should have thought of that sooner.
Let us make us fall through.
Yeah, I could have rigged it like a long time ago.
Rig it?
Put like trap doors in there. It would have been awesome. I did not.
Okay.
Or maybe I did.
Oh.
Okay, so that's Warrior Cats. It was
Yeah.
a good read, and it's real quick, and it's fun. And like I said, if you bring some stuff to the table and like think about the allegory that exists there, and if you think about all the little mice or poor little like red mice,
Red wall
mice getting killed, and that makes it even more entertaining. So yeah, good job, Pooja. Yeah,
Yay.
I can see how this influenced you, and I want to read more, especially with this whole
Yay,
cat
I'm
hell
so
thing.
glad.
I want
Yeah,
to read
there's
more
cat
about cat hell. So your assignment, and this is in deference to RJ and Ready Player One, the sort of going back to the original intent of catching up on all the '80s movies. We're going to watch Bill and Ted.
Finally! Oh my god. Okay, so actually, there's someone.
I've been telling RJ
There's
we were going to
someone
watch
I
Bill and
follow
Ted
on-
for a long time.
Yeah, there's someone I follow on Tumblr who's so into Bill and Ted right now.
Okay.
And all they blog about is Bill and Ted.
Perfect timing.
And I've been following them for a while, and
Yeah.
I feel really bad about unfollowing them because I don't know anything about Bill and Ted.
We'll watch it soon. We'll watch it the
Yes,
next day or
we'll
two,
watch
and
it.
then you
they
can.
have a comic book series.
They do. Yeah.
Also, for some reason, my brain thinks Bill and Ted and Hot Tub Time Machine are the same movie.
They're so not the case. But like today, I was talking about George Carlin and his bit about dogs and eyebrows and cats. Right? George Carlin is in Bill and Ted.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's one of the main. He's Rufus, I think is his name. I'm just guessing. RJ is his name. Rufus. I think his name's Rufus. I'm about to find out
Is
in the
it
next
Rufus
day or two.
in-
I think it's Rufus.
Rufus
It's
in
been a
the
little while.
Rufus
So we're
book,
gonna watch. We're gonna watch Bill and Ted, and
Cool.
then we'll loop back and you'll assign something to me.
Hella.
Yeah, and we talked about something today that
Radical.
may be an assignment to do even next time, but we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
We'll go through.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah?
yes.
All right.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to press the subscribe button to see more videos like this. Please, if you are put a comment in the YouTube video. A, if you wanted me to talk about more Warrior Cats things, because I have so many stories. And B, if you do, put like one word that's Warrior Cats related in your comment, and I will tell a story about it in a video.
Nice.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, or
And-
or maybe in 2 weeks if you're a podcast only fan, which does not exist.
Until then.
Thank you so much for watching, and bear with us.